You know, when we think of ancient life, we usually think of fossils. But what if I told you a creature that has walked this earth for millions of years, a true living relic from a lost world, is still out there, right now, fighting for its life? Well, that's the Javan rhino. And this is the incredible, heart-stopping story of one of the rarest mammals on the entire planet and its desperate battle for survival right on the edge of extinction.
So, where does this story unfold? Right here, in Ujung Kulon National Park in Indonesia. And believe me, it is in a stunningly beautiful place, a world of dense rainforest and untouched coastline. But here's the thing, this paradise is also a prison. It's the last sanctuary, the one and only place left on Earth where the Javan rhino still exists in the wild.
And this number says it all, 72. Now that's not 72 in one group, or even just in this park. That is the total global population of Javan rhinos. The entire species. All 72 of them are in that one forest. That's it.
And this map, wow, this really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Their whole world is that little green patch, the Ujung Kulon Peninsula. You've heard that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? Well, for the Javan rhino, their only basket is sitting right next to a ticking time bomb.
And that time bomb has a name, Anak Krakatau, the child of Krakatau. It's an active volcano, right off the coast. Its parent, Krakatoa, had one of the most powerful eruptions in recorded history back in 1883, and it completely devastated this exact region. If something like that were to happen again today, it wouldn't just be a catastrophe. For the Javan rhino, it would be game over, instantly.
But as terrifying as that volcano is, the most immediate danger isn't coming from some explosive external threat. Nope. It's actually a slow, quiet invasion happening from inside the forest itself. A silent takeover that is literally choking the life out of their only home.
Meet the villain of this story, the Langkap Palm. Now, here's the weird part. It's actually native to the area, but something has allowed it to grow completely out of control, turning it into this ecological monster inside the park. It's like a green plague, spreading out and rewriting the rules of the entire ecosystem.
And just look at the scale of this problem. The IUCN, that's the International Union for Conservation of Nature, reports that a shocking 60% of the rhino's entire habitat is now overrun by this one palm. It creates this incredibly thick canopy that basically acts like a giant umbrella, blocking sunlight from ever reaching the forest floor.
So, how did it get so good at taking over? Well, the Langkap Palm is basically a perfect invader. It bounces back from damage super fast. A single tree can drop over 5,000 seeds, and get this, the young seeds are actually poisonous to most animals that might eat them. It is just perfectly designed to outcompete and dominate everything around it.
And the result for the rhinos is simple, and it's absolutely brutal. They're browsers, right? They eat all sorts of different plants and shoots on the forest floor. But with the Langkap Palm stealing all the sunlight, the rhinos' food can't grow. So what happens? They're slowly starving. The park's carrying capacity, the number of rhinos the land can actually feed, is shrinking fast.
But the threats aren't just what you can see. It's not just about volcanoes and invasive plants. There's another invisible danger here, one that's hidden deep inside the rhino's own DNA.
I mean, just look at this. This shows you the staggering collapse of the species. Javan rhinos used to roam all across Southeast Asia, and today, they're squeezed into that one tiny park. Biologists have a term for this, a population bottleneck. When you have so few individuals left, you lose genetic diversity, which makes the entire species incredibly vulnerable to disease and the effects of inbreeding.
And when you look at it on a global scale, it's almost unbelievable. You see that tiny little orange dot on the tip of Java? That's it. That's everything. The entire legacy of a species that once spanned a continent, all resting on that one little point. There is no backup plan. There's nowhere else for them to go.
And that is exactly why this warning from 2015 is so chilling. The population is so small, so genetically fragile, that the loss of even a single rhino to poaching could be catastrophic. It could literally be the final push over the cliff. It means every single one of those 72 rhinos is, without exaggeration, priceless.
So, faced with all of this, a volcano, an invasion, and a fragile gene pool, it's easy to feel hopeless. But conservationists are in a desperate race against time, and the fight is absolutely not over. There is a clear, urgent strategy to pull the Javan rhino back from the brink.
And here's the game plan. It's a three-part attack. First, intense monitoring. You protect every single rhino that's left.
Second, habitat management. You actively fight back against that invasive palm. And third, and this is the big one, establish a second population. This is the ultimate insurance policy.
And the monitoring they're doing is just incredible. They have this network of more than 130 hidden camera traps all over the park. This lets them identify and keep tabs on every single rhino. Plus, you have rhino protection units, people on the ground patrolling 24/7, making sure these animals are safe.
And they're making progress on the habitat front too. So far, teams have gone in and physically cleared 150 hectares of the Langkap Palm. Now this is tough, backbreaking work, but in those cleared areas, the rhino's food plants are actually starting to grow back. It's creating these small oases of hope in the forest.
But here's the hard truth. As important as all that is, it's really just a defense. It's buying them time. The only real long-term solution, the thing that could actually save them for good, is to create a second, totally separate population in a new location. It's the only way to protect them from a single disaster, a tsunami, a disease, wiping them all out in one go.
And that really brings us to the final, urgent question, doesn't it? With a volcano literally rumbling next door and their forests slowly disappearing from the inside out, can we find them a new home in time? The clock for the Javan rhino is ticking, and it's ticking very, very loudly.